Also, you want to do that by smiling. When you come up here and you're introducing a speaker, you set the tone of how that speaker is going to be welcome. By being smiling and enthusiastic, it really, really sets the tone and helps out. The approach and manner. What is the approach? How is the approach of, they call it the introducer, but I'm just going to go Toastmaster. When that person comes up, when they come up shaking the hand, the look in the eyes, how you feel about that person when they come up. The audience can actually feel that. And also, keeping the introduction short. One of the things that sometimes people do, they go over dramatically. Have you ever seen someone being introduced and they go through the whole list of what they did? They jumped the Snake Canyon without a motorcycle, without Evel Knievel, they did all those things. And they go through all those things. What happens is, it goes so long that you're making the audience wait for the speaker. The anticipation of that speaker kind of goes in different kind of directions for the audience. The effective length. They say 30 to 45 seconds for the introduction is about the right time for Toastmasters. It can be a little longer if the speech is going to be longer. Usually our speeches are between 7 to 8 minutes, but if you're doing something, even something like this, a little longer, even the introduction can be a little longer. Some definite don'ts. What you don't want to do, upstage the speaker. The Toastmaster's task is to turn the attention to the speaker, not to yourself. That means eliminating any anecdotes or stories about your own experiences, attitudes, or your opinion. You got to remember, the speaker is the star. Don't steal the speaker's thunder. An introduction should invite anticipation of the upcoming speech, not revealing any of its details. Although the audience has the right to know a general subject matter, you do not want to steal that person's thunder. Don't surprise the speaker. Have many of you been surprised when someone said something and you're going, whoa, your face drops and you still have to come up to the lectern? You got to kind of watch those things of what, even if you know them personally, sometimes you know something maybe the audience doesn't know, and you might just share that, and that person may not want that shared. So you don't want to do that, but your job is to make sure that it's a smooth transition from not only from you going from the lector, but going to the speaker and for the audience. Again, don't praise the speaker's skills. They have things where you get so many compliments that it encourages an unreasonable expectation from the audience. This person is this and this and this, and then the audience is like anticipating all this, and then you get a story about funerals. You know, so it's a really kind of interesting kind of thing. You build this up, and all of a sudden it's a totally different thing. So you have to watch what are the praises for the speaker. Also, don't rely on cliches. I don't see that done here very often, but let me give you a couple. This person needs no introduction. Without further ado. What does that really mean, without further ado? Does anybody know what ado means? I still don't. What is it?
Something you step in when you walk across.
There we go, there we go. Commitment to a do. There you go. Gives me great pleasure to present. The speaker deserves a little bit more representation than the cliches that we hear. And don't save the speaker's name until last. Say it throughout the introduction. Or without holding your attention, it implies almost like if you're holding their name, it's almost like a celebrity is waiting outside. And all of a sudden, there is no celebrity. It's the speaker. But not only does the Toastmaster have responsibility, but the speaker has responsibilities too. One of the things is, be prepared. You need to be prepared to come on up. When you're called, come on up. Because beginning speakers are a little bit always a little self-conscious. They tend to feel that with the audience like they're tooting their own horn. You know, how do you, if you're starting off Toastmaster, how do you write these things about yourself if you haven't really made a speech? Okay, so be prepared of what you want said about yourself. Inform the introducer of or Toastmaster of any special considerations. And what that means is if there's going to be questions and the answers, are you going to do something a little bit different? So not only is the Toastmaster not caught off guard, but he will not catch the audience off guard, those kind of things happening. One of the most interesting things is lecture etiquette. We've gone over this a couple times. But one of the things that is very interesting as I was doing the research was half the job. I've never heard, have you ever heard of the term half the job regarding the lector? Well, here's what it says. When writing a good introduction, that is only half the job. The other half includes a relaxed professional delivery that creates a friendly atmosphere between both the speaker and the audience. Okay? So that whole thing of reading something, your job is only halfway done. You can read something, but you've got to convey something to the audience. Also, eye contact. Sometimes when we're introducing someone, we look at the person instead of looking at the audience. And that was something that's very interesting because once you're saying something about that person, you tend to look at them and then forget everybody around you. So you want to be one of the things, because you're leading the applause, but you also want to include everybody with that. At the lector, once the speaker has reached the lector, we know usually what happens, we either shake the hands or we bump elbows. At this point, I think we know a little bit about the etiquette, but I'll go back over it. Once the speaker comes up, you don't want to cross in front, but you want to come out and around and sit down. Remember, Toastmasters need to remember that the audience takes their cue from them and have demonstrated authority at the lector. When they have that authority at the lector, it's not that you abuse it, but you want to make sure that you respect it. Also, when you leave it, remain in sight. As Toastmaster or the introducer of, you don't want to be way back there and then have to come all the way up when the person finishes. You want to be there, but you also want to be in sight so the audience can see you enjoying, taking the cue from you, enjoying the speech.